Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about my Insta360 Go Ultra today. I've been using this camera for about 2 months, ever since I bought it for a trip, and I've been using it every day since. There's not a day really that I don't use this camera to some extent. I wouldn't say this is a super technical review. There are way better technical reviews out there in my opinion. But I kind of want to talk about the real actual usage of this camera. I cannot say much about the video quality in terms of what, color science or whatever. I can just tell you, is it a good camera? Is it not? I'm a normal person. I use a camera. I like camera. So yeah, this is my experience using it. First off, let's talk about the design. And I really want to say how important and how awesome, if you're gonna buy this camera at all, it is because it's small. And I literally mean super small. There's the main camera itself, and obviously there's the pod. The pod is really cool because it's a wireless monitor at the same time. This is the small camera itself is waterproof. It has 156-degree field of view. Really, really nice to take videos with that. And it's like a whole SD card slot on it. It's really interesting that I can do all that and still be a 4K 60 camera. This thing is insanely small, and I think the best part about having this camera is that it really does not have a lot of attention to it. If you really just don't want to bring any attention to yourself, you kind of hide the pod itself in your pocket. Although you might not be able to see what you're seeing, you kind of have a decent view of what this thing could see because it's a huge 156-degree field of view. And if you're just vlogging like this, no one would know you're actually vlogging. In my experience, no one really notices this. They just think I'm talking to myself, which is, weird, but at the end of the day, vlogging is technically talking to yourself, hoping someone else watches it. So, I think this has been one of my other actually go-to ways to hold the camera just like this, because I just don't like the attention that it brings when I have it with this flip out screen. You can also turn off the lights and the sound so no one knows when you hit record, you're actually recording. So it's a little bit scary that way, but at the same time, for not bringing attention to yourself, really, really cool. And I think the best part about it, other than that, is the fact it's magnetic. It can attach to a bunch of surfaces. Because of the small size and the magnetic stuff, it just allows you to be super creative. I can put this thing in my fridge. I can put this attached to my knife. I can attach this to a door I'm opening, or it's really interesting. And it gets super interesting because it kind of forces you to think that way because, oh, what can I do with this camera? Because other cameras are, number one, too fragile, like the Osmo Pocket 3, very fragile camera. If I drop it, it's gone. This is pretty rugged. I've dropped this a lot. I've dropped this as well a lot. And they're fine. Next thing we talk about is the pod itself. The pod has a flip out screen, which is really cool. It gets really bright. I've always kept it the lowest setting actually when I go outside. It's just a lot nicer. It's a really nice screen for 2.5 inches. I can see almost everything on it, and it's always really bright enough that I don't have to worry about not being able to see it. So don't worry about it not being that bright. It also has surprisingly really loud speakers. But obviously, the wireless monitor thing is the coolest thing about this, is that I can put this somewhere, see what it's viewing from really far away. So I want to get like a third-person shot, of me just like doing my own thing. I can still look at what I'm framing, where I'm still in the shot or not, but the camera's still there really far away. For solo creators, I think this is an insane thing you really need. For solo creators specifically, I think this is something that's really, really cool because it just eliminates the fact that you need someone else to be all the way over there making sure you're in frame. You can just check yourself. Awesome. Although one thing I want to talk about is the fact that this pod is super hard to hold without the camera in it. With the camera in it, it has like an extra way to put your fingers to put on. It feels full with the camera in it. However, without the camera in it, it feels a little bit awkward to hold in my experience. I don't know what it is. My hands aren't the biggest, I guess, but it just always felt a little bit weird when the camera wasn't in it and I'm holding this. Because I've dropped this thing a lot. I've dropped it a lot. And I'm not a big fan of dropping my things. So, and I've already cracked the screen on it. I put a screen protector on it now, but the screen is a little bit chipped at the bottom here. It's unfortunate, but I do like it. I still like it. However, I can't really do anything about it. It's just how it is. Just be more careful with it. I just think the next time, maybe they could rework the pod to be a little bit more ergonomic. I wouldn't mind the pod being a slight bit bigger for ergonomic and even more battery in it. Navigating through menus is also really easy in my opinion. Changing your resolution, changing almost everything about the camera, whether it's all the settings. It's super straightforward, really, really easy. I've never had a problem with it. And I think most people would not have a problem with it, even if you had never really used a camera before. It's very similar to your phone, if not even easier. Last thing I want to talk about is that it does have a magnetic pendant that comes in the box. And there's also a hat one, but I didn't use the hat one because I don't wear hats. Also, the one time I did wear it on the hat, it fell off. So if you're using the hat mount, I would not buy this for the hat mount. The hat mount is not worth it. A magnetic pendant, on the other hand, is something I use almost every day. It's just a great way to get POV. I love it. It really is just amazing. It's the easiest way to get a POV shot ever, in my opinion, because I've seen people try to get POV shots with their iPhone and they get like the weird neck mount thingy. This, you're wearing literally a magnetic pendant underneath. Most people might not even notice you're wearing a pendant underneath. You just slap it on and then you're recording. Really, really cool. And I think the magnetic pendant gets a lot of shots, and it's the best thing. If this thing ever sold without the pendant, this would lose so much value, especially considering the price, but we'll talk about that later. Now, let's talk about the video quality. Is the video quality on this good? Now, as a person who's actually used this camera compared to other cameras like this specific camera, the a6700, and my iPhone, and my Osmo Pocket 3, I can honestly say it's good enough, but it's not great, in my opinion. The reason being, it is a very small camera. We keep forgetting that this is literally the size that can fit in the palm of my hand. Number one, this camera is designed to be an action cam at the end of the day, so it's gonna keep everything in field of view. So if you're looking for that cinematic bokeh, you are really not gonna be finding that here at all. So I completely recommend a different camera. If you're thinking, oh, I really want the cinematic bokeh whenever I take videos, this camera is not for you. This camera is for someone who wants to capture memories and wants to capture it authentically and raw. This is that camera. And I think it does a really good job at that. It doesn't have the best footage overall, in my opinion, but that doesn't really take away from the fact that I still got the good shot, and the shot was good enough that I'm not complaining about it. I think in daylight, this takes really, really good videos. For the most part, I don't think it has an amazing, again, I don't think it looks amazing per se. Like if you're gonna ask me which was shot on this or the a6700, I know in a heartbeat that this was this camera compared to that camera, because this camera, like, it's not gonna win any like blind tests. Oh, is this an Insta360 Go Ultra or is this the Sony a6700? I know for a fact that this would be the thing that keeps everything in focus. It's an action camera. But with the 1.28 inch sensor, it does have pure light video mode, so that means that it does have a specific mode for nighttime, which you can use the camera. However, in my experience of using it, I don't think that the camera is that great at nighttime. Okay, so this is a comparison test of the night mode with an iPhone. I can also compare the mics here while I'm doing that. I think the iPhone mic is okay. If I need the shot and I had my phone on me and like it was something I could instantly just, I had the time to capture, I'd probably use my phone. However, if I was not having the chance and I had the Go Ultra on me, then I guess I wouldn't be that pissed that I was on. I mean, at least it's usable. Last thing I'll talk about is microphones on this. They're really good on, actually, surprisingly. I know you can connect other wireless mics to this, but in my experience, they sound like ass. I was attached a DJI Mic Mini to this wirelessly, and it sounded horrible. Imagine that's what he uses. If he doesn't use his own product, then I feel like that's kind of consumer distrust. It smells like good, but it also smells like I smelled the smell before. However, using the normal mic on the Insta360 Go Ultra surprises me. It's very good. I think this is the best built-in mic out of the Sony and the Osmo Pocket 3. I think this has the best mic, surprisingly, even though it's the smallest camera. This is a mic test for the Insta360 Go Ultra. I think overall, this is actually a really insane mic, especially again, for the size and everything. It's really good. I think it captures a lot of what I say. I don't think I need to use an external mic for this one all the time. I think it's pretty great overall. This is why I think that's really cool, is that as a whole bundle, that you get the flip out screen and you get the camera and a good mic. You can have the super complicated vlogging setup that I have right now in front of me, or you can just have this. And honestly, yes, this looks a lot better. I think this is, for most people, is really, really good as a combo. And then add in the fact that we talk about the battery, which is one thing that I think this does amazing on. The battery on this is actually, honestly, way too good. The battery on this is really, really good. It's rated for about 200 minutes. I wouldn't say it's as good as that, but I would say I can at least get 2.5 to 3 hours of shooting on this most of the time. And I've never really got anything super low and been like, wow, I need to charge it. Damn, I didn't know I was running out of battery. Never really had that problem. Well, however, if I really did need to charge it, that's where this thing shines. This thing can actually go from 0 to 80 in about 20 minutes. Do you know how insane that is? That is, like, you would only need to charge the whole thing for 20 minutes to get a whole day's worth of use. It is currently 4:20 p.m. 53%. It is now 4:25, and then the Go Ultra is actually charged insanely fast. It is at 70, what is it, 79? 80%. It's at 80% now. The camera itself is about an hour of usage, but then attach it to the pod, you get another like an hour or two, so it's about 3 hours in total. That's what they say. And I'd say that's about right in my experience using it. I think the fact that it's so fast to charge, it's so small, and it's also lasts the whole day. You just put it in your backpack, and it's an instant vlogging thing. It also promotes you to vlog and capture more memories because of how convenient it is. And that's the thing. This is the most convenient camera out of all the cameras I use. The only one that it doesn't beat is my iPhone, but even then, the fact that this is a flip out screen and I don't want to use the selfie video on the iPhone. We all know that the iPhone selfie camera is the worst camera on the phone. Also, it has a bigger, wider view. For vlogging, that's a lot better. So yeah, I just keep thinking about this whole thing. Really, really good. Almost final thoughts. Price. And this is where it always kind of comes down to, is it worth it or not? And it's the price. This thing is about $430. $430 is a lot for this camera. It's just, wow. When the Osmo Pocket 3 first came out, this was $500. This is almost $500, but I think the Osmo Pocket 3 is much more camera-like than this. I don't know. The thing is about this camera, as much as I love this camera, it definitely does not scream $400 to me. It screams like $300. And you know what camera that is $300 that's a lot like this right now is the DJI Osmo Nano that just came out last month. They're almost the same thing. And the only difference is that this is a smaller sensor. So this is 1.28. And if you want the consensus of my thoughts between this camera and the DJI Osmo Nano, the Nano is a worse camera in quality. It is. It's a smaller sensor. It's a little bit worse. Is that $100 difference worse? Probably not. But the DJI Osmo Nano has other things going for it. It has log. This doesn't shoot log. The colors on this are okay, but they're not like a log. It also works really well with the DJI mic system wirelessly. As I talked about earlier, the microphone on this wirelessly as ass, so that's already a big up. It's also part of the Osmo line of accessories, and they've been making accessories for years now. And if you didn't know, this does have like a magnetic system of its own with specific accessories that you can buy, but they only work for the Ultra and not the old Insta360s. The DJI Osmo Nano does work with the old Osmo stuff, so it's a thing. The Osmo Nano is $300 compared to $400. It's a $100 difference, and it gets most of the things right. So it really shoots the question of like, ow, why buy this one when you can get one that's $100 cheaper and does the same thing anyway? And the truth is, that is where I stand. For most people, that $100 difference in slightly better video quality is not worth the justification of spending that much more when the Osmo Nano exists. And it also has the features of it being DJI and whatnot. Although this did come out earlier, that's the reason I have this. If I did not have a trip in between when I bought this and when the Osmo Nano came out, I probably would have bought the Nano. By any means, does that take away how good this camera is by itself? No. However, the price is just the price. It's not great, and they need to lower it if they want to stand any competition in the marketplace against DJI. But the thing is, I already have this camera, so as a camera that I own, and I'm probably not switching out for the DJI Osmo Nano, because, again, it's a slightly worse camera, and I already have this camera. Why would I buy the Osmo Nano? They serve the same purpose. I love this camera. It's my favorite camera to use every day, and I know that's weird for me to say. Is it my camera I use all the time? No. There are a lot of times where I'll use the Pocket 3 over this camera. However, this is the most fun camera I've ever had to use because it's the one that challenges me creatively to think about new ways to get shots. It's more convenient than the Osmo Pocket 3. I would not say, again, if you're going for cinematic stuff, this is not your camera. But if you just want to capture, life, you can't go wrong with this. If you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, like and follow for more. Peace.